Natto, fermented soybeans. This is probably the most divisive Japanese food. You love it or you hate it. So first thing first, we're gonna go to a grocery store and pick up a few different kinds of natto and maybe a couple of other ingredients, because one of the ways to enjoy natto, I think, is by mixing it with a few other things. So I'm gonna show you some of my favorite combinations, some of the best sidekicks that you can have with your natto to enjoy it and both improve the health and the taste. All of this is natto. This is all natto. There's so many varieties of natto at most grocery stores. Morioka actually used to consume more natto than any other place in Japan. I think we're lower in the ranking now, but we used to be up there. We're still really high on the consumption for tofu though. I think we eat more tofu than just about anywhere else in Japan. I picked up some kimchi as well as 2 different kinds of natto and a special guest star ingredient. While you don't absolutely need to eat natto with rice, it is much better with rice, and I think it's a good idea to eat natto with rice. I personally prefer brown rice to white rice, and so let's make some brown rice. I'm just gonna make 2 scoops, 2 go of rice this time. So first, you got to wash the rice, and so to wash the rice, I'm just gonna put it into this thing right here, and then I rinse out a bunch of times and sort of wash it with my hands. All right, the rice is good and washed now. That's about right. Put it on the brown rice setting. Start. Why do you even want to learn to like this stinky, slimy, fermented food? Well, of course, because it's incredibly good for you. It's full of vitamins and minerals, and there's something called natto kinase that was discovered by a Japanese researcher at the University of Chicago several years back. Some say that it strengthens your bones. It's also full of vitamins, minerals, and really good for your heart and your blood circulation, preventing heart disease, strokes, things like that. I think that's a good enough reason. The origins of natto are basically lost in legend. One of the legends that I love most is that about 1,000 years ago, there was a battle, actually literally 5 to 10 minutes walk from where I am right here, really close to my house. This battle was called Zenkunen Eki, which I believe in English is the former 9 Years' War. A great warlord named Minamoto no Yoshiie was dispatched by the emperor's central government to dispatch the local leaders up here who were stripping people of their lands illegally and, more importantly, not paying their taxes to the emperor. It is said that when Minamoto no Yoshiie was camped up here to fight with the locals, they had started a pot boiling some soybeans. Then the enemy came and they left the pot boiling and went off to battle them. They returned several hours later, and the soybeans had been boiled for so long, and they apparently were still, they'd been boiling them when they were in rice chaff or something like that. And they just left it in there for a few days, and later picked it out, and it had fermented, and had a really interesting smell and taste. And they ate that, and that was the first natto. So we'll unplug it, open it up. Looks great. And whenever you make rice, the first thing that you do is you sort of stir it up a little bit. Just put a lid on that for now. The rice is ready. Okay, first I'm gonna show you the standard way to eat natto, which is not the way I recommend it. This is the way that most people try it, hate it, and sort of refuse to eat it ever again. So I'm not recommending this, I'm just showing you what we're up against, what the standard way of doing it is. Here's the natto. And another little layer of plastic. You can see it right here. So this is not the way to do it. We're going to put in both the mustard right here. Squeeze in the mustard there. And we got the soy sauce here. Or it's rather the natto tare. I guess it's not soy sauce. It says it's natto sauce. Squirt this in here, try not to make too much of a mess. Here comes the vital part. You've got to really mix it around. You just gotta stir it. And so you just mix it up here. I believe some Japanese TV shows even say there's like a certain number of however many 100 times you're supposed to stir it. Got it pretty well mixed up. Next, we're gonna get a bowl of rice, and then we'll just put the natto here on top of the rice. That's what you normally would do. All right, let's eat. This is the normal Japanese way, more or less. Substitute white rice, and this is how Japanese people would then eat natto. And just to, I don't know, prove, if it needs proving, that I really don't mind. Okay, so I'm not saying this is incredibly delicious or some delicacy. This default way of eating natto, for me, is fine. I can do it, it's okay. Doesn't bother me, but I'm not like excited about it. This isn't something I'm like, yes, I want to eat it. It's something I do because it's healthy and it doesn't bother me. Now, before I get into the exotic recipes, I want to share one easy way to spice up natto and make even this normal way of eating it better. The secret weapon, you probably guessed it, kimchi. Kimchi is wonderful. Take a look. Kimchi is great and it makes everything better. And so I'm just gonna add some kimchi in with the natto. Here we go. Natto with kimchi. Now this is a meal. This is something that satisfies. This is actually like quite good. That said, if you can't get over your initial sort of repulsion towards the smell and taste and texture, everything about natto, then how are you going to be able to enjoy it with kimchi? Probably you can't. So after I finish eating this, I'm going to show you the way that I was able to overcome that initial revulsion that most of us feel towards natto at first. So just give me a minute. Okay, so the way that I overcame my revulsion towards natto initially was a certain kind of natto, and that is finely grated natto. Check this out. It may not look like much, but this finely grated natto really doesn't smell much at all. And because it's so small, the texture is totally different too. When I first started eating natto, the biting into the beans and the flavor that came out of the soybeans really bothered me, but with this, it's chopped up. It does smell slightly in that direction, but not so much. And so, yeah, add in the mustard, add in the sauce, stir it up just like before, and this is much easier to eat. If you can eat this a couple times a week, you'll get used to it. So once you can get used to this, work up to the smaller beans, then eventually the medium beans, and then you're home free. You can eat any natto then, and you won't mind it anymore. Okay, but that's just how you eat natto and are okay with it. What I want to show you now at the end of this video is a way to make natto sing. I want to show you a way that makes natto a pleasure to eat, something that you look forward to, something you can get excited about, not just something that, yeah, it's healthy, so I'll eat it. That said, this recipe that really makes natto sing might not be for everyone because it involves another controversial food, that being cilantro. Fresh coriander. Now I know some percentage of the population can't enjoy the taste, doesn't appreciate it. If so, this isn't going to be for you. You could really maybe try it without the cilantro, but for me, I love cilantro. It's like one of my favorite flavors, one of my favorite things to eat in the world. And so adding this is just pure heaven. So let me show you. You guessed it, it's an avocado. Avocado makes everything better. Yeah, forgive my haphazard avocado cutting, but avocado is just good no matter how you cut it. So anyways, avocado. Yes, we're gonna do the drill with the normal natto one more time. See if we can't be a little bit cleaner this time. All right, it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna put the chopped avocado into the bowl. The bowl now of avocado. Going to put the natto on top of the avocado. So we've got now just natto and avocado. Gonna lightly mix this up, just a little bit. Mix the avocado and the natto. And the final way to add pure pleasure to this, ta-da, that's right. Put that cilantro, fresh chopped cilantro right on there. Some fresh coriander. And I like to maybe mix it up just a tiny bit more, get some of that in there. Now we have perfection. Look at this. Pure heaven. Okay, and so here we have it. Now, to be totally honest, I've never tried this before. This is a recipe online. Why was I praising it up and down a minute ago if I've never tried it? Because I've tried something really similar. My favorite Japanese izakaya, restaurant and bar, is called Konsaya. And I go there fairly frequently myself. He made a dish that was cilantro, natto, I believe he put green onions, lemon, and a little bit of salt and pepper, and that was pure heaven. And so that gave me the idea of cilantro and natto. So I looked it up online, and someone had made something similar, but they had also added avocado, and they didn't put lemon in. So I'm trying their recipe now, but yeah, let's try it. I'll shut up now and eat, huh? Give me a minute. I think this would be even better with a little bit of lemon or lime, to be totally honest. That would really light it on fire. But it is really good. The cilantro and avocado, as anyone who eats Mexican food knows, goes really well together. Those two just match perfectly. And the natto gives it sort of more of a body, and it balances the flavor of the avocado, I would say. It's a different tone that really goes well with this. I've seen some recipes calling for wasabi, and so maybe wasabi might be something you might try adding as well. That would take it in a different direction. Maybe you could say it's perfect as it is, but I'm gonna try and add a little bit of wasabi just to see. Like any good household in Japan, I've got a little bit of wasabi in the fridge, so let's put a little on the edge there and mix it in. So now we've got the wasabi mixed in there pretty well. Let's try. Here we go. It takes it away from the Mexican direction and brings it back to Japan. I wonder about a little more salt though. I'm just playing here. Let's add a little bit of salt. Not too much. Yeah. I'll finish that in a minute. I just want to say that I hope that this has made you realize that you can play with Japanese traditional foods, and if you don't like them but you want to be able to like them, there are ways to do it. The grated natto is an easy entryway into it, and once you get the hang of it, it's really not a big deal then. There are lots of worse, stronger tasting foods than natto. It's really on the tame side of things. There are a lot of things that I still can't eat in Japan. I'm not good with shellfish. I'm not good with any sort of oysters or clams, things like that. I've just never been able to get over them. And I still don't eat offal, Japanese horumon, which is basically intestines mostly and some stomach lining and things like that. I could probably work hard and learn to like them, but I'm not interested in wanting to like them. I don't mind not liking them. I just don't eat them. And so, yeah, it's up to you. Maybe natto is something that you don't feel like you ever need to learn to like. If you want me to try any other traditional Japanese foods, or if there any recipe that you want me to give a go, knowing that I suck at cooking and being okay with my take on it, yeah, let me know in the comments, and I very well may take you up on that. There's a lot of days when I can't be out in the mountains, and so I'm having fun doing these at-home things, and I hope that you're having fun with me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the trails. Now time to eat this again. So good.